Alright everyone, welcome back.
それどころじゃないってどういうことだ？
言葉通りの意味よ。あなただってうすうすは気づいているんでしょ。このままじゃセイバーが消えるってことぐらい。
Calmly. Tosaka mentions the result I've avoided thinking about.
消えるって、セイバーが消えるっていうのか、お前は。
当然でしょ。セイバーの魔力はほとんど空っぽなのよ。セイバーの宝具がどんなものだったかは知らないけど、よっぽど魔力を使うものだったんでしょうね。セイバーは自分の中の魔力をほぼ消費してしまった。今彼女が苦しんでいるのはね、消えようとしている自分を必死に留めているからよ。
魔力がないから消える？セイバーは傷を負ってもいないのに消えるっていうのか？
ええ、サーバントにとっては外的ダメージより魔力切れの方が深刻な問題よ。霊体であるサーバントに肉体を与えているのは魔力だもの。それがなくなれば消えるしかない。もっともそんなことにならないようにマスターはサーバントに魔力を送るんだけど、あなたはそれができないでしょ。だからセイバーは自分の魔力だけで戦うしかない。切れたらそれまでよ。こんなこと一番初めに説明したでしょ。
That's certainly what Saber told me.
けど今までは大丈夫だったじゃないか。セイバーだって眠っていれば持ち直すって。
それはセイバーの魔力量が桁外れだったからよ。そうね、確かにセイバーの魔力はまだ残ってる。彼女ならまだ消えずに肉体を保つぐらいの魔力は回復できるとは思う。けど結局はそこ止まりよ。セイバーはずっと今の状態で戦うことになる。宝具を使うなんてもってのほか。次に宝具を使えばセイバーは間違いなく消え去るでしょうね。
次に宝具を使えば消える。
No, first of all, I can't let her fight in this state. I don't want to see her slumped over in pain again.
理解できた？結局セイバーを以前の状態に戻す方法は2つだけよ。マスターがサーバントに魔力を提供するか、サーバントが自分で魔力を補充するか。
To have a servant collect magical energy herself. That would mean killing innocent people like Ryder did.
まさかセイバーはそんなことはしない。セイバー自身がそんなことはしないと言ったんだ。
でしょうね。一般人を犠牲にするぐらいならセイバーは潔く消えるでしょう。なら方法は一つだけよ。セイバーを消したくないのならあなたが魔力を提供するしかないわ。
それはできるならとっくにそうしてるさ。けど俺は魔力を提供する方法なんて知らない。あいにく遠坂みたいに何でもできるってわけじゃないんだ。
まあね、共有の魔術を教えてあげても間に合わない。シローは魔術師に向いてないから覚えるのに1年ぐらいかかるだろうし、覚えたところで使えないわ。まあ召喚時にセイバーとパスは通っているはずだから、まだ他に方法があるかもしれないけど。
Tosaka ponders, but it's only for a moment. Tosaka looks at me with an expression suppressing her emotions.
いい？セイバーを助けたいのなら彼女自身に人を吸わせて魂を食べさせるしかない。
I think we can both disagree that's not the right way to do it.
それはあなたにも分かってると思うけど。
That's the most realistic measure. But that means...
もちろんセイバーは嫌がるでしょう。けど放っておけば遅かれ早かれセイバーは消えて、あなたは他のマスターから狙われることになる。
Saber will disappear? I can't even imagine such a thing. I still feel her body heat in my hands which were carrying her.
なら答えは一つよ。霊樹を使いなさい、エミヤ君。 それで最悪の事態は避けられる。
That means ordering Saber to kill innocent people. I can't say anything. I resent what Tosaka is saying, but at the same time, another part of me recognizes that this is the only solution.
決断はあなたに任せるわ。セイバーは眠らせておけば落ち着くだろうけど、それでも限界は近いでしょうね。決断をするなら次に襲われるまでにね。
Tosaka leaves the living room. I can't even look up. I can only listen to Tosaka's departing footsteps. We're already on day 10. Dragon Slay. Arturia. The girl who had just finished her rite of passage would be known by that name from that day on. It was a time of chaos and war. It began with the demise of an empire. An empire believed to be indestructible was only awaiting its destruction at the hands of invading barbarians. To prepare for the war against these barbarians, the empire deprived this island country of any military forces. That was the beginning. Once our country lost the empire's protection, it could not escape becoming independent and it broke into smaller countries in no time. Barbarian invasions, self-destructive strife between clans, a long period of war that would later be called the Dark Ages. She was born into this period as the heir to the throne. It was a long period of chaos. The king believed the Magus' prophecy and yearned for the birth of his appointed successor. But the child that was born was not the one the king desired. The child was not a boy. Even if the child was fated to become a king, he could not make a child that was not a boy his successor. The girl was entrusted to the king's vassals and was raised as a child of a mere knight. The king fell into despair, but the Magus was delighted. The sex of the one who would become king had never mattered. He was confident that the fact of the girl being separated from the castle until the day of the prophecy was proof that she would become king. The girl grew up as the successor under the simple and wise old knight. The old knight did not really believe the Magus' prophecy. He just felt the same air from the girl as he did from his king, so he felt that he must raise her as a knight, and he wished her to grow. But the knight did not even have to wish for such a thing, as the girl trained day after day to become stronger than anyone. If only a king can save a ruined country headed for death, the girl swore to bear a sword for that reason alone, without ever being told so. So the day of the prophecy arrived. Knights and lords from around the country gathered to be selected as the king. Every one of them expected the selection to be through jousting if the most superior one was to become a king. But the only thing prepared at the place of selection was a naked sword stuck in the stone. On the hilt of the sword was a golden inscription. Whosoever pulleth out this sword of this stone is right-rise king born of England. Many knights grabbed the sword following that command, but no one was able to pull the sword out, and the knights began the expected method of selection by jousting. But then she pulled it out. As the girl was only an apprentice, she was not qualified to joust. The girl neared the deserted stone of selection and reached out for the sword without hesitation.
いやいや、それを手に取る前にきちんと考えた方がいい。
When she turned around, before her was the most feared Magus in the country. The Magus said that she would no longer be human when she took a hold of the sword. The girl only responded with a nod. Becoming a king means no longer being human. She was prepared for that ever since she was born. In short, a king is someone who kills everyone to protect everyone. The young girl thought about it every night and shuddered until morning came. No day passed that she did not fear that fact, but the girl said that it would end this day. The sword was pulled out as if it were only natural to do so, and the place was filled with light. In that instant, she became something not human. The king's gender does not matter. No one will care about the king's appearance or even notice it if the king acts like a king. Even if anybody knows that the king was female, there would be no problem if she was a good king. Perhaps because of the sword's magic, the girl's growth stopped at that time as well. Many knights feared its ominous Oh, sorry. Many knights feared it as ominous, but most of them praised their master's immortality as divine. And thus, the time of the king who would become a legend started. The battles of the new king were indeed the acts of a god of war. The king always led from the front. No enemies could stand in her way. Arturia, the god of war. There was no defeat for her body admired as a dragon in human form. For 10 years and 12 battles, she knew only victory. Those were the days she ran through as the king. She never turned back and was never disgraced. She was raised as the king and fulfilled her obligations as the king. That's a nice picture. I like this. I always like this particular background as well as a photo as a wallpaper. Is that why I saw such a figure? Her soul must still be on that battlefield. Before daybreak, resting her body in the wind under the indigo blue sky, she just gazes into the distance. The sky is high and the clouds are flowing fast. Under the clear air, she is looking at the great army she must face with her sword in hand. That figure is burned in and will not go away. She and her sword are one. The sword from the stone that chose the king. I think the brilliance of the sword that selected her fate is also her brilliance. But I wonder in the dream, that sword is different from the one she had. It is similar but different. The one she used last night is different from this sword. So, how did she lose such a fine sword? When I wake up, I'm in my room. It's light outside. I guess I fell asleep after coming back to my room, unable to make a decision.
今の夢
It was a strange dream. Events I shouldn't know about, things I don't know about Saber. Is it possible for me to dream about them?
でも確かにあれはセイバーの持ってた剣とは違ったよな
I definitely remember that after a while of being connected with your servant, you start to share memories. That's probably what was going on anyway. So he eventually started seeing Saber's memories in his dreams, and vice versa. I vaguely think Saber's true identity that was hidden. To be honest, I still can't accept who she is. Saber is just Saber. I can't change my attitude just because I know who she was before, and I don't think Saber would want that either.
けど似合ってたなセイバ
The sword from yesterday suited her, but the sword in my dream also suited her. No, you could say I was fascinated. With yesterday's sword and the sword in my dream, it seems I fall for swords easily. He always had a thing for swords anyway. That's always been like a prominent aspect in his character. He always was fascinated with blades. I also thought Lancer's lance was beautiful when I saw it, but my interest in swords is exceptional. It seems I'm easily attracted to swords.
まあそんなの今に始まったことじゃなかったか
I take a deep breath and reach up to my sweaty face.
それにしてもなんか暑いな
I wipe the sweat off my forehead. Even though it's winter, my body's burning. It feels like my blood is getting hotter and I feel restless.
なんだろうセイバーの剣を見てからなんか
I wonder if he's also sharing her fever too. My body has been strangely hot. The hand that bears the command spell is hot as if it's holding a pocket heater.
遠坂に宝石を飲まされた時に似てるなかゆいっていうか走り出したくなるっていうか
I take a deep breath to try to calm myself.
セイバーはまだ眠ったままか
Saber has not woken up even once since last night, but it still seems she's getting better. Her breathing is calm now and there's no sign she's gasping in pain. Saber is sleeping peacefully. This is an everyday morning scene.
もしかしたらこのまま
If I let her sleep like this, she might get back to normal. Then there will be no need to have her kill people. I mean, I don't think she's gathering much mana by sleeping, but it is helping in a small manner. Then just like now, Saber will be with me and
何よ都合のいいこと
I hit the wall. I'm so weak it makes me sick.
セイバーをこんなにしたのは俺だ。その俺が何を。
I get up trying not to make a sound. I don't know when Saber will wake up, but I have to make a decision before she does. Tosaka must still be asleep. There's no energy in the house and it feels like it's abandoned. No, I'm just depressed. I can't decide, so I'm wandering around in a gray state, and that causes the world to be vague. I hear something cut through the air.
まただ。庭の方からだけど、今のは。
I remember that sound. Yeah. I don't feel like cooking breakfast right now, so I'll take a walk and check it out. It's much colder than usual outside. It must be really cold if my burning body feels it. It's so cold that it might snow.
蔵の方からだな。あれ。
The sound is coming periodically. Across the yard breathing out white puffs. He's there in the front of the shed. I guess I kinda knew he would be here, so I wasn't surprised. He must have been shooting arrows until now. He lowers his bow in displeasure as soon as he sees me.
物騒だな。人んちの庭で弓なんて引くな。矢が当たったらどうするつもりだ。
どうするつもりもない。もとより矢など使っていないのだ。いていないものが当たる道理はなかろう。
He doesn't need to tell me that. The sound was Archer's bowstring cutting through the air. I don't know why, but Archer isn't using any arrows, but only pulling his bow.
いい弓だな。今まで納得いかなかったけど、お前本当にアーチャーだったんだ。
さて、私はお前が知っている弓使いとは違うからな。弓道など聞かれても答えられんぞ。お前たちの弓は己に当てる射であり、私のは敵に当てる矢だ。お前の言うアーチャーというのは礼節を重んじる者のことだろう。
See what I'm talking about? If I didn't have my hand off the mouse, I would have skipped this. He curls his lips offensively. As I thought, I can't get along with him.
誰もお前に弓のことを聞こうだなんて思ってないよ。ただ、何をしているか気になっただけだ。
見ての通り、調子を測っているのだが。
How you feeling, buddy?
セイバーにつけられた傷も癒えた。いつまでも見張り役というわけにもいくまい。
Well, it took a while for you to heal, though, but hey. You're back. I see. He's healed now. Then that means Tosaka should return to the war. I turn away. Since Tosaka and Archer have rejoined the battle, I must make a decision. I have to think seriously somewhere I can be alone.
斬新という言葉があるな。
え？
ことを済ませた後に保つ間のことだ。私の弓術とお前の弓道で唯一共通しているものがそれだと思うのだが。
なんだよ。お前なんかに八節を解かれる覚えはないぞ。
まあ聞け。矢を放った後、体は自然と場に止まるという。それを斬新というそうだな。
Certainly, there are 8 movements in archery called 8 stages of shooting. The last one, the follow-through, is the state that comes after shooting an arrow, but...
ああ、それがどうしたって言うんだ、お前。
心構えの話だ。斬新とは己の行為。放った矢が的中するかを確かめるものではない。矢とは放つ前にすでに的中しているものだ。射手は自らのイメージ通りに指を離す。ならば当たるか当たらぬかなど確認する必要はない。射の前に当たらぬと思えば当たらぬし、当たると思えば当たっているのだから。
そんなことあるか。どんなに当たるって思っても当たらない射はある。思うだけで当たるって言うんなら誰だって100発100中だ。
そうかな。少なくともお前は百発百中だろ。
His statement makes my heart jump. That's certainly.
まあそんな話はどうでもいい。言いたいことは一つだけだ。斬新とは矢が当たるかどうかを見極めるものではない。
I like
放
how
った矢がどのような結果になるかなど分かりきったことだからな。
My bad, I thought he was done talking. I like how he's indirectly helping him, giving him advice, even though he clearly doesn't want to.
ならば斬新とはその結果を受け入れるための心構えではなかったか。
分かってる。要するに最後まで見届けろって言いたいんだろう、お前は。
そういうことだ。セイバーのことは聞いた。彼女がこのような状態になるのは初めから分かっていたことだろう。魔力の提供もなしで戦っていればいつかは消える。それはもう決まっていたことだ。ならば
All that's left is to accept the result. Is he saying that no matter what happens to Saber because of my decisions, all I can do is see through what happens? I turn my back to Archer. I'll leave this guy once and for all.
あ、それともう一つ気がついていないようだから教えておこう。
I hear a voice behind me.
セイバーはな、宝具を使えば自分が消えると分かっていたはずだ。彼女はおそらく最後まで宝具を使う気はなかったのだろう。
The usual offensive tone is present in his voice.
にもかかわらず宝具を使った理由は一つ。セイバーは自身が消えることよりお前を守ることを選んだのだ。それを決して忘れるな。
His voice holds an honest sincerity. The park is empty as usual. Maybe it helps that it's colder today than usual. There's no one around and it looks like I'm the only one out at this time. Nah, so he's just moping on the on the park. I sit on the bench sluggishly. I came to a deserted place as I wished to. Now that I'm here, I must decide what to do. There are no choices that allow me to postpone the problem. If I'm to end the Holy Grail War by defeating other masters, I need Saber to stay. No, even without that, I don't want her to disappear. But that means having Saber attack people like Ryder did. There's no way I can do that. Making Saber do such a thing would be like telling her to die. First of all, Saber would surely refuse. But when I hang my head, I see my left hand. I have 2 command spells left. If I use one, I can force Saber to follow my command. I bite my lip and discard the ridiculous thought. I don't know how long I remain slumped on this bench, but just as my fingers start to tremble from the code.
もういないと思ったらこんなところにいる。
No, Ilya. I'm suddenly called.
やっぱりそうだ。こんにちは、シロ。浮かない顔してるけど、何かあったの？
イリア、お前また一人でこんなところまでやってきたのか。危ないぞ。どこにマスターの目が光ってるか。
As I start to say that, I'm amazed at my stupidity. Ilya's a master too. I shouldn't be worrying about this, and anyway, aren't we enemies?
悪い。今はイリアと話をする余裕がないんだ。せっかく会えたけど、話し相手になってやれない。今日は冷えるし、帰った方がいいぞ。
Sitting down on the bench, I dismiss Ilya. There are things I need to talk to her about, but I have my hands full with Saber right now. What's going on? Ilya doesn't say anything, she just stares at me as if I'm a stranger.
イリア。いや、別にお前を邪険にしてるんじゃないんだ。今はちょっといろいろと立て込んでいて。
知ってるわ。
セイバーが消えかけてるんでしょ。それでシローはどうしようかって考えてるのよね。
Suddenly, the girl in front of me says this coldly as if she is someone else.
エリア。
そんなことで悩むなんてバカみたい。シローがそんなだからライダーのマスターにも逃げられたのよ。負けたやつなんて殺しちゃえばいいだけなのに。
I move my legs. I know it's bad to stay sitting down, so I put my power in them to stand up. But my body does not move as if entranced by Ilya.
エリア、お前なんでそんなこと。
言うまでもないでしょ。昨日の夜ね、私もあのビルにいただけよ。もっともさすがにビルの中で様子を見てるしかなかったけど。
I try to move my arms and legs, but they won't move at all. No, it feels like they're stiffening the more I put power into them. It's those eyes. Looking into Ilya's red eyes is making my body go numb and...
あ、もう金縛りになったんだ。シロったら守りも何もないんだもの。一人でいれば簡単に捕まえられるって思ったけど、こんなに簡単に行くなんて可愛いな。
エリア、
無駄だよお兄ちゃん。そうなったらもう動けないわ。もうじき声も出なくなるけど心配しなくていいよ。私もね、今日はお話をしに来たわけじゃないもの。
Murderous intent mixes into Ilya's gaze. This is the same Ilya as that night when she was the master of Berserker.
俺をここで殺すつもりか。
Gritting my teeth, I gather all my strength. But I can't even twitch my fingers. Every nerve in my body is wrapped by Ilya's stare.
だってもうマスターでいてもしょうがないでしょ。セイバーが消えたらシローは一人きりだもの。いつまでもマスターにさせてられないわ。戦う手段がなくなったシローなんて簡単に殺せるんだから。
Ilya raises her hand. Her white slender fingers touch my chest. Oh,
他の人に殺される前に見つけられてよかった。それじゃおやすみなさいお兄ちゃん。どうせセイバーも消えるんだから早い方がすっきりするでしょ。
my vision fades. Sensation in my limbs is already gone, and now my vision is gone as well. How long has it been since I fell into this darkness? While I wonder whether or not I'm dead, my consciousness fades away. My body's burning. Even though my consciousness is deep in the darkness, my burning body is appealing that it is alive. I see. I guess I'm alive then. But even if that's the case, that's only for the moment. Ilya said it too.
戦う手段のないシローなんて簡単に殺せるんだから。
Just gonna get rid of Saber. She's right. I can't fight at all without Saber. The Holy Grail War is a battle between servants. I cannot possibly match one of those servants. The fact has been proven many times already. It was a merciless beating. As Saber said, my battle against the servant is to survive. I couldn't even do that. I was cut all over my body and on top of that thrown to the ground from a third floor window. I only survived because of an abnormality in my body that I don't even understand. That fact is so vexing that it makes me mad. I could not stop the disaster occurring around me just because the one in front of me was unbeatable. Even though I chose to fight, I chose to fight as a master to stop people getting hurt, but I could not protect them. It pisses me off. The superhero I've admired since childhood always has to win or it's meaningless. My body's burning. My whole body is demanding that I must win. But I don't have any means of winning nor a way to fight. How would I be able to fight? I don't have the skills to fight alongside Saber without being a burden to her.
それも間違いだ。エミやシローは格闘には向かない。お前の戦いは精神の戦い。 己との戦いであるべきだからだ。
Suddenly, I remembered the back of the man who said those words.
戦いになればエミやシローに勝ち目などない。